The CW, we continue to talk about this, how horrible their programming is. And David Zaslav, the new CEO over at Warner Discovery, has decided to axe a lot of programming. Now, understand this. CW is on the selling block right now. When it will be sold, is Nexstar going to take over? What's it going to be like? What will be the programming be like at Nexstar? And if you look at the schedule that is coming this fall, it's lackluster. It is not the normal scheduling that you would normally see from the CW network. But they still continuing to greenlight a lot of garbage on there, and I'm surprised Zaslav hasn't put a halt on this yet. But I think he'll pick up very soon, because one thing I've noticed this week, and we're going to look into this, has the mainstream media finally realized how bad the CW truly is? Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, like, share. You know what to do. We've been trying to get over that 500 subscriber mark. YouTube has not been very helpful to the situation on there. Even though we've gone through the holiday week, and I knew, the holiday week was going to be a bit light. But, there is still a lot of shadow banning that's going on to the situation. And, this is the thing that YouTube does. It constantly does. And, I see it constantly on there. And it's not only myself and many other YouTubes. I was unsubscribed from 4 of my subscriber channels on there, including Nerdrotic, Ricada Law, and a couple of others that I know I've subscribed to those channels before, and they've removed me. And I could imagine how many of my subscribers have been removed. So do check your subscriptions. Make sure you're still subscribed to this channel so you make sure you get all of our notifications. So back to the CW. The bloodbath continues through this. How many more shows are going to get cut? We don't know. There is a lackluster full schedule that is been released. It is, not much on there. Expecting the Winchester spinoff, which is it's lousy in itself. It's just, how many things can I point out with the Supernatural spinoff on there? It looks horrendous. I mean, it is really do. I mean, you got other shows that have been very, just literally pure garbage, low in the ratings, but yet CW continues to produce shows. I mean, we're getting one more season out of Riverdale. Why? They should have just, that's it, cut. You have hardly nobody watching Riverdale. And the same thing with Dynasty and many of the other shows. Batwoman is another perfect example. And you see the people online, the writer's room, and the small minuscule of people. These are the little amount of people that have been watching this, wanting it to come back. But it was garbage to begin with. It was garbage in the first season. They try to blame it on race, but it was garbage from the first season out. It was garbage of the last couple of seasons on there. You're not going to get it any better. And then, of course, with this cancellation, what does CW do? The people that were involved in it, they gave them another show. And I'll tell you this, do not compare this to the video game, because the video game is going to be totally, completely different. And what I'm talking about is Gotham Knights. And the funny part of the situation is, you figure that the mainstream media would be right on this, trying to push propaganda and stuff like that. And yeah, there are some articles out there. There are some. But this is the one that got me. And it's out of Forbes. It's Paul Tassi who wrote this article. And wow, I mean, are we starting to see a flip in the mainstream media that's finally seeing that the wokeness of a lot of these TV shows? The top header is bizarre Gotham Knights trailer shows the CW should lose its DC privileges. I agree. I agree 100%. You see, the Arrowverse is practically gone. Flash is pretty much left. Superman and Lois and Stargirl is considered really more toward Warner and not the CW Arrowverse. Even though it was included in certain parts of it. But, you know, when you see the trailer to this, it's just literally, who wrote this? Who did they write this for? Who was this series really made for? And let me read into this from Paul. The CW is truly a strange spot at the moment, prepping itself for possible sale and merger with HBO Max. That resulted in the absolute guttering of the Arrowverse, canceling Legends of Tomorrow, Batwoman, without giving them a chance to wrap up the storylines. The Flash is on its last season, and Arrow, Supergirl, and Black Lightning are already gone. Enter Gotham Knights. They didn't mention Naomi there. It didn't even make a ton of sense that DC was introducing a brand new superhero show, presumably at least tangentially related to the Arrowverse. After all these cancellations, yes, Superman Lois exists, but that's practically an HBO Max production at this point. But Gotham Knights is a bizarre concept that looks like it's going to be executed quite badly, at least according to its initial trailer. The show has created an entirely new adopted son of Bruce Wayne, Turner Hayes, for a reason I cannot explain, other than maybe DC didn't want them tainting Dick Grayson or Damian Wayne or something. In the series, Bruce Wayne has been murdered, and Turner discovers his secret that he was Batman. He must team up with the children of his enemies, including the daughter of the Joker, which I find ridiculous on there, and find allies like Carrie Kelly, version of Robin, which was race swapped. That's what I'm saying, that she was race swapped in this series, and Carrie Kelly shouldn't even be in this lineup in itself. It all looks so bad, like something that arrived here from a time machine out of the year 2006. This is supposed to be some of a new generation of heroes, but I generally have no idea who this series is for, as Batman fans despise it. The trailer is underwater in dislikes and likes on YouTube, and every comment is trashing it. And CW fans are furious that shows like Legends and Batwoman were canceled in favor of whatever this is. There were not that many CW fans out there. There's very few. A lot of them left off, you know, early in the days, you know, as Supernatural was changing out and the other series, they weren't flexing their muscle as they used to. This also comes at a time when DC outside the Arrowverse is cultivating a ton of good TV content. Peacemaker, Harley Quinn, Doom Patrol, to name a few, and the 2 Batman spin-offs are coming soon. The entire project feels like a relic of some alternate dimension when the Arrowverse was even worse than what it's been reduced to now. Gotham Knights is not to be confused with Gotham Knights, the new upcoming AAA video game, which stars Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, and Batgirl. And while the two have some issues, should probably prove to be a better use than the name than this. I just don't know what anyone was thinking here. And this is the truth. You know, Paul hits it right on the button. This is the CW. CW Network has been like this for quite some time. You know, missed are the days of the 90s with the P10 Network, Action Pack, and many of the others that came and went. They had a lot of great ideas in these independent stations. You know, working with Warner Brothers, working with CBS at the time, and many others. You know, this shows you how these networks have failed, how these Hollywood studios have failed. At one time, they weren't afraid to try new things, to try good ideas. Even CBS at the time. CBS, this is the same, we're talking the same network that has destroyed Star Trek, is the same network that came out with a great series called Silk Stockings and Forever Night. You know, 2 great series that moved on. I mean, Silk Stockings went on to the USA Network and still had more seasons added to it. Forever Night is still a cult classic. If you haven't seen Forever Night, it's a great vampire series about a cop, a vampire cop looking for redemption in present day time when he's dealing with his past. And, you know, it is a great series. It didn't end that great, but it was a great series in itself. Silk Stockings was a very sexy, hot detective series that, like I said, it lasted multiple seasons, moved from the CBS late night spot over to the USA Network, where it still was very successful for some time now. And then, of course, you know, you move over to the other, to the P10 and to Action Pack, Hercules and Xena, Babylon 5, and so on and so on and so on. You know, there's so many shows that did well, that moved on, that, you know, some of these studios moved on and created even greater series. I mean, one was the Bruce Campbell Jack of All Traits, which was a fantastic series, if you have not seen that. And, you know, there were other shows that, you know, Bruce Campbell did, you know, Briscoe County, another great TV shows on there. And we saw some stuff out of Fox also as well. You know, there were many TV series out of them. And you saw each of these shows, they took a chance. They took a major chance. Here we have the CW, who's taking a chance with shows that basically nobody wants to watch. Nobody wants to see these shows. Biggest perfect example, Batwoman, the 4400, and Naomi. Those are the perfect examples. Other examples, and people don't even realize that some of these shows exist, was Dynasty, was another show on there. There was the Hidden Legends Temple game, a remake of the old Nickelodeon game show, which didn't even get off the starting block. I mean, it was just literally horrendous. Nobody was watching. You know, I'll be shocked if they got a second season out of it. I doubt it. You know, their reality shows do much better. Their live shows, you know, Whose Line Is It Anyway, which has always been a popular series for many years from England to the United States. That's always been popular. The Penn and Teller Show has been always still a very popular show as well. But their ratings are not as great. People enjoyed the show, you know, and you know, people had fun on it. But the thing about it is, not everybody showed up. Not everybody showed up to this network. The network in itself is dying out. The only thing Zaslav can do is either sell it off or take complete control. You know, buy off CBS, create a new Warner, a new WB network. There was a time when the WB network was strong in itself, including its Saturday morning lineup as well. You know, for David Zaslav, return to that Saturday morning lineup. Return to the old ways of some of the programming that was in the past. Take the chances. Stop with the reality shows. Stop with the driven agenda TV series. These diversity hires and stuff like that. And I'll tell you straight out, for those of you, as me being a Hispanic, those of you who sign up for this, that think they're going to get fame for it, listen to me now. They're only hiring you for the color of your skin. And I'm telling you straight this out. If you think you got that job on the merits of your acting, you are totally incorrect. They only brought you there to click a check in a box. And I keep showing you this little sheet that has been passed around the writer's room. This is what they're telling you. This is the new Hays Code 2.0. This is where people are telling people how to run their business. This is what happened back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. There were those from the church to the government that told Hollywood how to make movies, how to make TV series. Now, understand, some of them did work out because there were some people that were smart to get around some of the issues that was plaguing the industry with Hayes 2.0, but they could not go any further than that. That's why there was a lot of repetitive in certain things. That's why you saw a lot of things that were, similar to the nature, how it ran. But then there were other classics like the Humphrey Bogart classic and Lauren Bacall, The Big Sleep, 1946, which was a great novel. But the thing about it was, because of the Hays Code, you could not understand what was really, truly going on, that this was blackmail through pornography. Because they could not say that then. They couldn't, nudity was not allowed then. But but that's what was going on. And the ending of the story is not reflected to the book. And you might say, well, they do change endings in novels. No, they completely changed it. So basically, it adhered to the rules of the Hays Code. And that's the same thing that is going on today. People are starting to wake up. And, I'm hoping that this writer has woken up to see that, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's going on broadcast television. This is the situations. There are many videos out there. There are those in the mainstream media that chastise us YouTubers and internet journalists as well, that we don't know what we're talking about. It's very simple. It's simple. It's right in front of your face, and you don't realize it that they're doing it. They're stabbing you right directly in your chest, and with your knife, and you're saying that's not happening. That's not happening here. You're pushing it away as an illusion. But see, the illusion is that they're trying to give you good quality movies and TV series wrapped in a political bow. And that is wrong in itself. All you have to do is sit back and look at the 1970s, the 1980s, and the early 90s when it came to movies and television. Look at the stuff that they were able to pull. People says you can't have a Married with Children today. You can't have a Blazing Saddles today. And you know what I have to say to them? No, you can have that. You're able to make these movies. And I keep continuing hearing that, this thing. Don't put yourself down as a producer or a writer or something like that. Don't let them do what Isaac Asimov warned us. 60 words. Remembered for 60 words. He said 100 years. But it happened faster than he thought. Could you imagine if he was still alive today, what he would think of Foundation? I don't even think he would have allowed Apple TV to do his Foundation TV series. That's my perspective onto the situation. So, another garbage TV series coming this fall from the CW network. Hopefully things change. David Zaslav, change this situation. More bloodbath. You have these guys afraid, including J.J. Abrams. We got a video on that coming soon. So subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on the next one.